All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson talking about a comment that somebody left on a video that I did entitled Lucy Letby is a demonic spirit, right? And the person wrote something along the lines of, there is no God, no demons, just humans doing bad things. Any moral God would stop this, right? That's pretty much the comment that they left, man. Right, something along those lines, right? And what these people don't understand is that the earth is in the hands of wicked people right now. And that's the reason why wickedness like this goes on for so long, right? That's the reason why this stuff happens. But people always want to try and blame God and say that God's the reason for why people are doing wickedness, right? Which to a certain degree, they're not wrong, right? Because God created good and evil. And He created the evil people so that when people finally see the good people, they can be happy that they're in a righteous world, man. This is Job chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right? So Yahweh gave the earth into the hands of wicked people, which is what we're seeing right now. Right? The earth is in charge. The earth is in control by wicked people right now. And how do we know this? Well, let's go to it. Proverbs 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. If you go on the internet right now and type in protests, you'll see several people protesting about something in particular. And you've got these people over in the UK right now spilling milk all over the place, right? Or falling down in the street over oil, right? Or spray painting buildings over oil. And some of that stuff's set up anyway. But the point is that people are writing or protesting about things all over the earth, man. And if the world was in the hands of the righteous, people wouldn't be doing that. They'd be rejoicing. And that's what people that try and claim that they don't believe in God and all of this stuff and use it as an excuse. That's what they try and do, man. Not knowing that God has a time and season for everything. All right. If people ain't following after God's laws, then why would the earth be righteous? God gave men the right way to live on the earth, and they chose to not follow it. Right. If they ain't following that way, right? If the rulers in charge ain't following that way, then of course the world is going to be in chaos. Of course it's going to be. The scriptures say, 1 second. The scriptures say, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And that iniquity is sins. But let me read this. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. So I don't need to read through them all, but it's just going into how there's different times for every single thing that takes place on the earth, man, right? There's different times. So there's a cause and a need for every single different type of spirit that Yahweh creates upon this earth. He has a use for all of them, including the wicked spirits that are in people too, right? They're used as well. They've got their use too. It's Sirach chapter 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes, and in a time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Which people won't want to accept this, but Lucy Letby was used as a spirit of vengeance too, man. And she was a demon, man. That woman is a straight up demon, man. She's an evil, man. That's an evil woman, man. And we already know as Hebrew Israelites why she did that, because she's an Edomite. But other people would try and blame it on some mental health and all of that. All Edomites are mentally unstable. The spirit that's in them is not right. All of them are wicked. It's not this person did it and they're all right. But then where are the good ones at? World War III is about to pop off right now. And that's going to be thanks to Esau, thanks to the Edomites. Let me carry on. Everyone's always trying to blame Yahweh, right? And if man, these people don't know, man. They really don't know. They really don't know, man. This is Sirach chapter 10 and verse 4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. So eventually, Yahweh is going to set up a kingdom that's going to be righteous, man. The Israelites are going to be in charge of the world. They're going to have the laws written within their hearts that they can fulfill Yahweh's way perfectly among themselves. And as according to Isaiah chapter 2 and Micah chapter 4, the Israelites are going to make the other nations on the earth keep the laws. And if they don't bow down to the laws, there's going to be no rain for them. And that's Zechariah the 14th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Zechariah the 14th chapter speaks about how if they don't come to serve the Lord from year to year, that they're going to have no rain, right? They're going to receive plagues, man. And there's many other scriptures that I've got on my list, man. Let me go into this, because they said that there's no demons, right? And if you don't believe that there's spirits, that's because the spirits have already hijacked your ass. And they're controlling you every single movement, which is a spiritual battle anyway, that man has on the earth. But when you can feel that there's something trying to force you to do things, that's when you know that you're fighting. When you don't think that there's anything trying to force you to do things, that's because you've already been completely overcome by it all. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Right? That's what we're fighting against. So there is demons. They are spirits. Right? These things exist, man. These things exist. They exist, man. On the right-hand side, which is the side of righteousness, and on the left-hand side, which is the side of wickedness, they exist. Right? There's good and bad in the earth. And Yahweh's in charge of death too. I want to just make that be known. And what causes people to die is their sins. Right? Yahweh sanctions people's deaths based on them sinning. Romans chapter 6 and verse 23. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of Yahweh is eternal life through Yahweh Shai Mashiach our Lord. And there hasn't been any person that's ever not sinned on this earth. There hasn't been. Right? There's never been a person that hasn't sinned on this earth. And a man's sin sometimes can cause for their child to die. Just like what happened to King David. King David sinned and the child died. But people that don't understand judgment like to speak freely all the time, as if Yahweh can't cause nothing bad to happen to people, man. And they try and think that a good God would just never harm nobody, which doesn't make any sense. This is Romans chapter 3 and verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Yea, let Yahweh be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. But if our unrighteousness commend the righteousness of God, what shall we say? Is God unrighteous, who taketh vengeance? I speak as a man. God forbid. For then shall how God judge the world? So if Yahweh wasn't able to harm nobody, to judge the world, how would he judge it then? What's the judgment to do to people when they're not listening to what you say? When you've told them how to live on the earth and they're not listening, how do you overcome that then? Because if we just think of it on earth as men, if there's a criminal running around, shooting everyone, robbing people's houses, murdering people, stealing everything, vandalizing people's property, and you're not allowed to harm him in any way, how are you going to stop him then? How are you going to stop him from doing what he's doing? And that's what I mean with these people, that they're hypocrites, man. Because if somebody breaks into a lot of these people that say that God is unrighteous for making people die and that, right? And why wouldn't a righteous God stop things and all of that, right? If they have something done to them, they want somebody to do violence to them. They want violence to happen. But then they think that God is unrighteous if he makes people die for their wickedness. And they think that people are innocent because of age, or they think that people are innocent because of beauty, or they think that people are innocent because of fame. No one's innocent, man. We all deserve death. Me, you, everyone. We all deserve to die, man. And the only person that ever fulfilled Yahweh's works properly on the earth, they died even. Yahweh Shai died for the sins of the Israelites. Yet other people on the earth have got the nerve to think that they don't deserve death. Who the hell do you people think you are, man? You deserve it too. We all do. But these faithless people, man, they're ridiculous, man. These faithless people are ridiculous. And let me get this. All these people talking like a God don't exist. This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 13 and verse 1. Surely vain are all men by nature who are ignorant of God, and could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is, neither by considering the works did they consider, neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster. All right, so people see things in the world like the northern lights, like the sun, like the moon, and like how the moon and the sun always show up exactly when they're supposed to, right? They'll see the rain, they'll see the wind, they'll see the grass, they'll see apples, they'll see how you can make another apple from an apple. They'll see how you can make another moose from a moose. To see how you can make another ape from an ape. You'll see how you can make another human from a human, right? They'll see how Yahweh's made all these creations that can replicate themselves, right? But they'll say that God don't exist though. They'll see how there's the seasons that are ever changing, right? They always come through. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, they all come over. They always show up, right? But people are saying, nah, God don't exist though. These people are ridiculous. They'll see how wasps, they'll see how bees' wings flap 230 times a second. They'll learn that. They'll research and understand that happens. But then they'll be like, nah, but God don't exist though. That just happened from a big explosion. A big explosion made things. And then they won't say, well, if let's say a big explosion did happen, they won't say, well, who caused the big explosion to happen? They won't say that. They'll say, nah, it's just, I don't believe that. That's how these people are, man. They're ridiculous. Verse 2, but deemed either fire or wind or the swift air or the circle of the stars or the violent water or the lights of heaven to be the gods which govern the world. So they thought that them things that they saw were gods instead. They didn't think that those things had a creator. They then said, no, I just think that everything's just how it's supposed to be. I don't believe in anything. Their mind wasn't able to think that there's something above what they can see on this earth, man. They didn't understand that. Yet people acknowledge that there's such a thing as space, but they just thought that, there's space, but then we're the only things here. We can just float around. That it's ridiculous, man, to be that small-minded. And when you actually really sit and think about how Yahweh does exist and how he's always been around, it hurts your head to think about that, man. We can't quantify that. But it's still true that it had to be something before us that made us be here. That's still true, man. But these wicked people, they don't want to believe that, because then it makes them realize that they're weak and that they have to bow down to something. And they don't want to do that. They don't want to accept that, man. Verse 3. With whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods, let them know how much better the Lord of them is. Exactly. So if people are worshipping the sun, right, shouldn't they be like, hang on, someone made this sun that we see in the sky, so we should praise the person that made the sun instead, not praise the sun. Let's praise who made the sun in the sky. That's what they should think. Just like how when people see when Yahweh Shai shows up to this earth, Yahweh Shai is going to get his praise, but Yahweh is going to get praise too. Because people are going to be like, well, if Yahweh Shai is like this, then how much greater is Yahweh? And they're going to be terrified, man. It's going to be terrifying. And when time's gone by in the kingdom, and we're living in the kingdom, and Israelites then just see a member of the elect, right? And they might have not saw Yahweh Shai. They're going to be like, man, if this Israelite's like this and he's just one of the elect, how much more great is Yahweh Shai? Then they're going to think, well, if Yahweh Shai is this great, if Yahweh Shai is greater than him, then how much more great is Yahweh? And that's why ultimately Yahweh is going to get the praise that he deserves, man, in this earth. And after the day of Yahweh's wrath, the world is going to praise his name, man. They're going to be terrified, man. All these houses that we're living in, everything that's going on right now, the time's going to come where the house that you're in, wherever you are now, if you stumble across this video, you're not going to be in that no more. Because this world is getting ready to face times that it's never saw before. That's what's getting ready to happen, man. The world's getting ready to see times that it's never seen before. Verse 4. But if they were astonished at their power and virtue, let them understand by them how much mightier he is that made them. Exactly. For if by the greatness of beauty of the creatures, proportionally the maker of them is seen. Exactly. If somebody's able to make something and that thing's great, well then that person's great. Right? That person's greater than that thing that they made. Verse 6. But yet for this they are less to be blamed, for they peradventure ere seeking God and desirous to find him, for being conversant in his works, they search him diligently. And believe their sight, because the things are beautiful that are seen. Howbeit neither are they to be pardoned, for if they are able to know so much that they could aim at the world, how did they not sooner find out the Lord thereof? Exactly. So if these people are able to search out and do scientific studies, they're able to search out, oh, bees do this for the ecosystem, lions do this for the ecosystem, oh, these animals got this particular mating dance that they do, oh, this particular mineral in the earth is good for this medicinal use, and this particular thing in the earth is good for this medicinal use. All these different things in the earth that are put here, if we combine them together, we can make a plane that flies in the sky. This particular thing, if we combine all of these things together, we can make a nuclear bomb. How, if they was able to do all of this stuff and find out all of this stuff in the earth, how is they not able to be like, you know what? Yahweh exists. And how is they not able to use these big telescopes that they've got in the sky? I mean, excuse me. How is they not able to use these big telescope buildings that they have, right? These big, huge telescopes that are the size of buildings, man, right? That are the size of mansions. How is they not able to take those, look up in the sky and see all the things that they've seen when they look through these telescopes that we won't ever know about until the kingdom? How is they able to look through those things and be like, nah, Yahweh don't exist. I don't believe that. The Bible's been changed. What version is that? How was they able to do that? Surely they should have been like, nah, Yahweh exists, because that thing that we saw in that sky just then, that thing that we saw whiz past, did not originate of Earth. You know, these people have seen, if you have to think about it, man, these Edomites, these rulers, these elites, they've seen things, man, that we just naturally have faith in that exist. But they've seen them. Yet they still say, nah, we're the top of the food chain. Because their pride won't let them believe that there's something better than them. Their pride won't let them do that, man, because they've been made to be wicked. Right? But I think I made the point, man. There is a God. Right? There is demons and spirits. And humans do bad things. But Yahweh makes people do good or bad things, so that he can make balance in the earth. Right? And a moral God is going to stop this stuff. He is going to stop it. But he's making people build up their wickedness so that he can judge them in one big foul swoop, man. Right? He's going to judge them in a big way so that they humble down. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So that's what's getting ready to happen to these people. All these jokers that are walking around thinking they're going to be stars, man. You're not going to be a star. All these current stars, you're going to be brought down, man. And you're going to see that there's always been something better than you on this earth. There's always been something greater than you in the meaning of life, man. And your little record deal, your little acting deal, your contract, your fashion label, right? Your car that you've got, your BBL, all the bullshit that you have ain't going to mean shit in the day that Yahweh Shai returns to this earth, man. I'm going to end the lesson there. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Shalom.